The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
Kane is in the building.
Already the show goes on all night till the morning. We dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they will see the sun? Just remember when you come up, the show goes on.
Talking Heads with Nazi and MJ is brought to you by Burger King, Fine Threads, the Free National Movement, John's Department Store, KFC, Naughty Johnny's, Prince Masters, the Progressive Liberal Party, Arrows.
You was being had, don't that shit that make you mad? They treat you like a slave, put chains all on your soul and put whips up on your back. They be lying through their teeth, hope you slip up off your path. I don't.
We've got it locked and loaded to the Tuesday, April 14th edition of Talking Heads. Your boy Naughty and your company along with MJ right up until 6 p.m. It is Tuesday, and we got lots to talk about on the Tuesday edition. We have a special guest today as well, too. We'll get to that in short order, waiting for them to join us. But like I said, me and MJ got a lot to talk about. MJ, what's good? You all right?
Yes, I'm good. It's a beautiful day.
I'm still chuckling from, last night with what I heard and what I've heard throughout the day. I mean, are we living in the Bahamas or are we living in an alternate universe?
Well, depends. What did you hear?
Because irony is just the irony of it all. Well, first of all, let me address a couple of things. All right? Good afternoon to everybody. I just need to address the idiot that left the black note 5451 in the middle of New Providence Avenue, right in front of Bosch. Yes, if you have a flat tire, pull to the side, jack your car up and fix the tire. Do not leave your car in the middle of the road jacked up. That's what that idiot did. So if you know that person, let them know. Lucky that car didn't get tipped, because I heard from a couple of the corner boys there around there that they was ready to tip that, based on that stupid move alone. Second of all, had a caller yesterday. Listen, obviously it got his goat ribbon on the pole in Garden Hills. Rick Fox's red ribbon, 8 feet up on the pole. Well, listen, sir, I want you to know you're in good company. You got a certain social media PLP, she shared the same, angst as you as far as Garden Hills goes. Okay? However, I need you all two to do me the favor. You and Cindy, take a swing through Bain Town. Because Wade Watson got ribbon on all the poles too. And I got the pictures to prove it.
Oh, no.
Gold and blue.
Oh,
So while you're not being all hypocritical, go talk to your candidate, because he's making you look bad.
Yeah. This whole thing with the signs on the polls, the election paraphernalia on the polls, is apparently it's really getting to be a big deal. But the crazy thing is, I've seen photos with so many government ministers. I mean, all of the candidates, but government ministers that have their signs on these polls. No less than the minister responsible for BPL. That would be JoBeth Colby Davis. She's got her pictures and her paraphernalia up on the polls. You would think the minister of all people would know not to put her signs on polls. So I don't know what's going on. If BPL is saying they need to come down, then everybody needs to come down. I don't know if that's going to happen, though, because it seems like it's all buck up goes and nobody's really checking.
I mean, that's what, and I don't want to hear about crowd size and holograms and AI and all kind of foolishness. Political mischief is going to take place at this time. You have to be smart enough to discern, look, and read. Don't get caught up in the moment. Before you share something blindly and it's fake news, check the legitimacy of the source and the legitimacy of the document. You got to do that. But yeah, to beat up your gums over ribbon on lampposts and painting speed bumps, my whole thing about it is,
In fairness to the candidates, though, I mean, we've been seeing these signs on this kind of stuff for forever. I can't remember a time where there weren't signs on time. So I guess this is something new for BPL. They got a problem with it. But yeah, it applies to everybody. I guess they didn't send the memo out on time.
I mean, they need to do better. They are
Or they
like
need to do like the Port Authority and go take it down and tell them where to collect it. Maybe that's what
correct.
instead of sending out memos, go take it down then. Go do that. Let's
And
see you
listen,
do that.
a lot of y'all want to join the fray and get and politicize a lot of things. If candidates put their sign on the verges in front of your house, all over Facebook saying they put it on your property. I understand you might be pissed off your view is taken, but if it's not on your property, don't go on social media lying saying it's on your property. I've seen the pictures. That's on the verges. That's public property. So I guess they're entitled to put them exactly where they're at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But people politicizing the littlest thing and not getting caught up on the issues.
Yeah, I think Bahamians kind of also ready to just be done with this election and fast forward because it's getting to be a lot.
And we'll talk about this in the 5 o'clock hour because we have our guest joined us now, and we'll get to that in a second. But I will say this. Irony was rampant and has been rampant, but it's really at a fever pitch, and it's really started to take off. However, I find it so ironic, and I got to put on my comedian hat, MJ. The Prime Minister says the opposition leader is, do we want a novice? Well, wasn't Brave Davis a rookie leader 4.5 years ago, his first time at being a leader?
Yeah, so are they all in their first term.
And back
Everybody
up
in their
to
first
Perry
term.
and Hubert in the law firm. So he's always been like second, third string. So I don't know if Mr. Davis realizes this, but how ironic. 4.5 years ago, you sat in Parliament with a minuscule opposition. People didn't think you had a snowball's chance in hell to become the Prime Minister of this country. And look where you are at today. And I think Mr. Pintard, being as brilliant as he is, has pulled a page out of your playbook and is coming to bite you right back in the bungie, and you don't like it. But yes, he is a first-time leader with a small opposition. But unlike you, he's held no portfolio before to bungle. But I remember when you...
Well, no, he has held a portfolio. He has been a minister before.
Okay,
Agriculture, youth, sports,
Thank you for the correction. My apologies.
Yes.
But I don't remember him bungling anything to the level of talking about novice leader. Mr. Davis, when he was Minister of Works back in the day, he was responsible for Bamsey with no insurance. Minister of Works, the last lap under Perry as deputy leader, you were responsible for the Obadiah Wilson building down there in Grand Bahama. Bubkas, where are we with that? So talk about novice and rookies. I mean, yeah, I'd like a rookie head coach if he was like Pat Riley with the Lakers, win a championship in the first season. Hell yeah. So you should really be careful how you cast stones, Mr. Davis, because at some point you started off as a novice leader. And to this day, you still make novice mistakes your darn self. So I think you need to pick a better angle to come from, because that's just irony is just killing me on that one. I mean,
well, I think we're at the point where everybody's throwing everything that they possibly can at their opponents. I mean, I heard Oban mentioned last night, and I could only roll my eyes because really,
Oban?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Well, let
And
me,
even you
one second. Since I like to play poker, let me check and re-raise your Oban with the Moorings deal.
Right,
the
and so
woman who works in the office of the Prime Minister, who's married to the man who got the contract for the Moorings, that they allegedly say stop, but I got pictures still proving the Moorings out there. And someone's father-in-law is dealing with that in the family islands, and you'd be surprised how close and how far ranking the son-in-law is in the OPM.
My thing is, once we get to this phase, I mean, I know this is just like normal politics, but people are just going to start throwing everything out there. I'm just happy that we now have the manifesto from the Free National Movement. I got the blueprint for progress really late last night. And so we have that as well. And at least Bahamians could look at actual policies, because there's going to be a lot of noise, but I'm searching for signals. I'm trying to see what big ideas people have for the future of this country.
All right, our special guest is ready to go. And our special guest today is the F&M ratified candidate, Dr. Nicholas Fox. And he's been no stranger to the show. Third time having him on the show. We're looking forward to having a conversation. If you want to be part of the conversation and chime in, here's how.
Here's how you can become a talking head. Brought to you by BTC.
Text lines powered by BTC 422-GR96. That's 422-4796. Phone lines open in New Providence 323-6232, 325-4259, 325-4316. Toll free in any one of the Family Islands 242-300-5720, 242-300-5720. Stream us live, take us wherever you want to go. GuardianTalkRadio.com. That's GuardianTalkRadio.com. That's how you get it in. That's how you get it on for fresh news, smart talk all day, right here on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. All right. No stranger to the show. Let's welcome him back. The FNM's ratified candidate for the Fox Hill constituency, Dr. Nicholas Fox. Dr. Fox, what's going on, man? I got to ask you, why are you doing your opponent the way you're doing your opponent? I mean, there's an old saying, you know who the gods curse, they first said crazy. Last time I saw your opponent, he was down in Dover Sound, Grand Bahama, claiming it was Marco City in the back of the bush in an empty lot overlooking the water. I mean, you might want to let him off the ropes a little bit, man. You're pulling an alley on him right now. What's going on?
Well, hello, Bahamas, and thank you for having me on the show again. But I'm just doing me. I'm just trying to rescue Fox Hill. I think Fox Hill is drowning or has basically drowned from the lack of leadership, the lack of interest that the current minister exudes over the community. There's been no progress in Fox Hill. I left Fox Hill to study medicine at the age of 17. I'm sure if I went back, when I came back, if Christopher Columbus came back, he would still recognize Fox Hill. And when I speak of Fox Hill, I'm talking about Fox Hill proper, around the park area. Christopher Columbus would say, oh, I was here. Because nothing has changed. There's no progression. There's no programs in place. There's no plan for Fox Hill. Whenever the current MP speaks, it's to malign somebody's character or to just, carry on like a juvenile or a toddler, and no programs, no plans for Fox Hill. And I think that I'm the one to rescue Fox Hill.
Well, my next question was, how you doing and how's everything been going on the ground so far? Obviously well.
Yeah, pretty good. I've been getting good reception. I'm well known in Fox Hill, despite what the noise is that I'm not from Fox Hill. Remember, I was told that I was born in Princess Margaret and not Fox Hill. But the reception has been really good. The campaign is going really well. We have doors, and I'm meeting a lot of people. And that's the most interesting part of this campaign. I meet so many interesting people with so much to say, so many ideas, and so much talent is in Fox Hill. It's just amazing.
Well, what are some of concerns of the residents that you've met so far while canvassing in Fox Hill? Are they the same ones that the Bahamas is experiencing far and wide? The cost of living, immigration, crime, so on?
Yes. One of the major concerns in Fox Hill is the cost of living, unemployment, and the immigration problem. And canvassing, again, in Fox Hill proper, you can see where there are so many Haitians and other nationalities, but particularly Haitians, that have been embedded in Fox Hill. I assume for a particular reason. However, most of them that have a passport can't speak English. I find that odd. Sometimes we go to an apartment, there are 8 or 9 people in one apartment. They all have passport. Nobody speaks English. This is a problem for the locals. They complain about it. But, what could they do? The cost of living, a lot of people are experiencing tough economic times. A lot of people's light are off. A lot of people don't have transportation because they can't afford to keep it on the road with the insurance and the licensing. And the kids are not getting what they need for school. There's a problem with the breakfast. They're supposed to provide breakfast every day. They only provide it 3 days a week, and so that's why.
Oh.
That's why the after school 350 people.
Still 100% beef?
Yeah, Angus beef, 100%.
And still getting the juice?
Yeah, 100% juice.
And the chips?
And the plantain chips, locally made by Bahamians. and they love it, and they show up with their parents, and the parents are happy, and the kids are happy, and I feel good knowing that I can, even though it's knocked at every point, every time he opens his mouth, he talks about this hot dog.
Well, we've known for a long time that Mr. Mitchell is an aficionado of hot dogs, all right? I mean, obviously, he does Minister of Foreign Affairs or Affairs and Foreign. He's been to Germany, Wiener Schnitzel, so on and so forth, kielbasa's, chorizos. He's a sausage guy.
I saw a post, Dr. Fox, good afternoon. It's so great to have you back on the show today.
Thank you. It's
but
good
I
to be
saw
here.
a post that spoke a little bit to, the Free National Movement's plans, because now your manifesto is out, that spoke to your plans about easing the cost of living. And I just want to hear from you. What are some of the things that the Free National Movement intends to do? Because you talk about things are, insurance is expensive, childcare is expensive. So what are some of the things that the Free National Movement is proposing that is going to help Bahamians with the high cost of living we're dealing with right now?
Well, for one, reducing the VAT on many things, medical services, insurance, on breadbasket items, etc. Also providing opportunities for people to train in vocational areas, education, so they can be employable and get a job. A lot of people in Foxville are unemployed. I'm sure across the nation too. And this will provide some, if you're not working, then you have no money to buy anything, and you become totally dependent on social services or the local MP. And then, they can get a job. Also, the assistance that they want to provide for mothers and fathers. So
see that. And I was happy to hear, because at first when we heard about this particular aspect of your plans, we heard that, it's just $200 for single mothers. But now that it's been expounded upon a little bit, we understand that it's $200 for young families, right? Families with newborns, whether that's, a male-led family, female-led, it's for the families, for the child care. And $200, I think, will assist a lot of young Bahamian families, because childcare needs are expensive. And then there's also the $100 that you are going to give persons that are pursuing their certification. Those are pretty big deals, I think.
They are. And $200 goes a long way in terms of taking care of a newborn, for diapers and milk. And even to get some help to help you take care of the kids, especially if you have other kids available. And the $100 will encourage people to pursue, some vocation so that they can get a job and make some money so that they can take care of themselves. And that's part of my campaign, adding value to people. Once people feel valuable, then they can progress. When they don't feel valuable or they don't feel like anybody cares, then there's no need to progress, and they just become stagnant where they are.
Another big idea that a lot of people are talking about is the F&M's plan to build 5,000 homes in 5 years. The PLP has a similar plan, but their numbers are a lot smaller in comparison. It's 300 homes, I think, is being touted recently. Why do you think there's such a decision is proposing? I think we've heard enough now to understand that the 5,000 homes, or close to 5,000 homes, is possible. But why did you guys make this such a priority and put, such a big number, such a big goal on yourselves, 5,000 homes in 5 years?
Because when we canvass and we walk through the areas, especially the poorer areas, you realize that people are living in substandard conditions. People want a home, but it's very difficult to get one, and very few homes are available. And so we decided that we need to make it possible for people to own homes. You have people working who are living in generational properties that, substandard, the electrical work is not good, there's no plumbing, sometimes there's no electricity, sometimes there's no running water. And so we want to change this. We want everybody to have a comfortable area to live and be comfortable and be happy. And owning a home, brings happiness and gives you a sense of accomplishment and satisfaction. And so we wanted to cater to this and ensure that anybody who wants a home can get a home.
Another area that we can now compare the two major parties against each other with is healthcare, right? So the Progressive Liberal Party seems to be focusing more on hospital. They say that they are going to do expanded NHI drug coverage, and they'll do a mental health line, a 24-hour mental health line. The Free National Movement has also made their plans known when it comes to healthcare. You guys say that you will hire 100 doctors, 200 nurses, and just do a whole system overhaul and focus a lot on staffing. Why do you think that your approach is the better approach?
Because the PLP has proven that they're lying, bold-faced lies. This is the worst, the PLP. I have lost more patients to lack of drugs, especially insulin. You know, diabetes is a very critical condition to have, a very serious condition. And if it's not managed properly, you have rapid progression, you can have a stroke, you can lose your limbs. And if there's no insulin, and you can progress to kidney failure, and people have to end up on dialysis. And as we know, we had a problem.
I've heard horror stories about that unit.
Yes,
I've heard horror stories
that unit alone. So they're lying. They're lying for political game, and I think it's shameful and disgraceful because, you know, you send somebody to the hospital. I know when I diagnose people with cancer, I look at them and I have to send them for chemo and treatment, and I'm looking at this person, and you know, I'm thinking I probably won't see this person again because they're running out of drugs. There's never any drugs. In fact, I had a patient the other day
That's what I heard also.
who had a critical condition and needed a drug called mannitol. And they wrote them a prescription. Mannitol is not a drug you can walk up to a prescription and get. It is a critical care drug that only an institution like PMH or Doctors Hospital would have. Where are these people going to get this drug? So the patient died. The person died.
Oh, no.
And
no.
I just think this is gross negligence and gross incompetence. And like I say, you know, this happens, the minister comes on and the Minister of Health comes on and makes some stupid, nonsensical remark and then just brush it off as, oh, people die and this is accountable for, and you know, there's no consequences. The healthcare system is a disaster, and besides, it's overrun with non-Bahamians, and it's just a sad situation. It's to the point where people offer to pay me to treat them overnight in my clinic, to stay in the clinic and treat them rather than go to PMH. They would rather die than go to PMH. And I think that is sad. That is our primary healthcare institution. You know, they brag about 9 million tourists come here. If something happened to one of them, where are they going to go? Where? Doctors Hospital is overly expensive, and it's just PMH. And you want to send them there to give us bad publicity worldwide? No. The hospital needs to be fixed. I think the plan that the FNM has is the best plan. I don't think at this current time we need a new hospital. Yeah, children should not be seen in the same hospital as adults. Yes, we do need a children's hospital. But I think we should keep the hospital on the same campus. We can build a tower like the FNM had planned and just add to what we have and make the services better, hire more staff. Nurses are leaving in droves because the conditions are so bad and the pay is just beyond laughable. And, you know, you're working yourself to death in horrid conditions. And people are just tired of it. But under an FNM government, we want to increase the nursing staff. We want to increase the amount of doctors that are available so that people can get proper health care.
We've heard this administration.
We got to get to the phone lines real quick, MJ. Go ahead. Let's get that call, and then we can jump right back in. Talking Heads.
Hi, good day. How you doing?
Good afternoon.
Yes. One good thing. On Camp Road, tell them please move all them signs off the lamp pole. All the parties, they trying to kill people like head high now. And if you walk in, you could take your head off. If you're on a motorbike, you're mostly gone. And they scrape it with cars, man. And
where is this?
On Camp Road.
Camp Road, okay.
And then also the Dock Point. You can't build a tower on top of old crumbling bottom, man. You gotta build something new. You can't build it either because downtown is congested. You need to move the hospital from where it is.
Okay.
Thank you. Go ahead, Doc.
I just don't think now is the time. I think we need to get the hospital in order first. Remember why a lot of the areas of the hospital is bad? It's because of low staff morale and neglect. I think we need to boost staff morale. We need to boost the salary of the workers there, it's better, and then we can consider building a new hospital or moving the hospital, because all we're going to do is take bad and put in new and make it bad.
We've heard this administration talk about wanting to recruit more doctors instead of, the possibility of retired nurses coming back. That's how kind of dire the situation is. So how is the F&M going to be able to accomplish recruiting 100 more doctors, 200 more nurses? How are you going to pull that off?
Well, we have a lot of Bahamian doctors that are abroad. We just have to offer incentives and a good salary and better conditions, and they will return home. We can start with that. Also, my suggestion for the nurses is the nursing program here is far too long. You can have an accelerated program which runs year long, all year round, and you can, for lack of a better word, lower the standards for acceptance to a certain degree so you can get more people applying. Because I found that people who are interested in a profession, they may not necessarily have all the qualifications you need, but they will make better nurses and they will do better in the field, other than people who are highly qualified and they go in and then they find that, it's not what they want and they don't give it 100%. But I think if we do a shorter nursing program, an accelerated program, better training on the job, I think we can accomplish what we need to in a short space of time.
So you just think that the barriers to entry are a little bit high now, but that if you needed to, you could get more persons interested and then train them efficiently, effectively, and quickly get them to be a part of our healthcare system.
Yes, I do. Because you have schools, take for example, Ross University, which is located in St. Kitts. They have an accelerated program. I think it's 2 years where you do 2 years of school nonstop. And, then you do several months of internship and you get your BSN. We could do the same thing here. Sometimes, the program here can run 5-6 years. That's a long time to be in school, studying to be a nurse. I think we can cut that in half through an accelerated program, recruit more people, make the field more attractive, and attract more people into the profession.
All right, let's get to this other call. Talking Heads.
Yeah, good afternoon, Naughty, MJ, and Dr. Fox.
Afternoon, yes.
What's up, man?
I just wanted to say two things. I like the F&M's plan on healthcare, and I was really, as a small business owner, I was really intrigued when I read in the papers today when Dr. Sands was talking about the F&M's plan as it relates to business licenses. Instead of doing a business license fee based on turnover, which doesn't take into account that a company can lose money and still end up having to pay more money on a business license on turnover, and focus more on taxing the profits. I prefer that as a small business owner. It allows me an opportunity then, and then they talk about getting tax breaks based on charitable contributions and what have you. And so going more with a more North American style, what you have in America and in Canada with regards to businesses. And so I hope that, the F&M is to be successful to be able to implement that. Because it really, you hear a lot of cries from small business owners. Man, I didn't make no money this year and I still got to pay more. I got to pay based on, what I turned over. Doesn't speak to what my profit and loss was. So, I applaud the F&M for bringing that to the forefront, and hopefully you'll be successful in this upcoming election to implement it.
Thank you.
Hey, before you hang up, caller, I just want to let you know I appreciate you chiming in. I know it's been a rough day for you.
Sending a lot of love your way.
And me and MJ sending a lot of love your way. All right, big bro?
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right, we really appreciate you. And I hate you when I get off the show, all right? But know that, you're in our heart and in our thoughts and in our prayers, okay? So, yeah, but I mean, we got another call on the line. Let's go to the call. Talking Heads. All right, call us back, caller. Let's get to the break. Flip side of the break, we'll continue the conversation with Dr. Fox. All right, and we'll continue the conversation with our special guest today, the F&M's ratified candidate for the Fox Hill constituency, Dr. Nicholas Fox, as Talking Heads, the Tuesday, April 14th edition with Naughty and MJ continues right after this.
Don't that
Craving something bold, fresh, and unforgettable? Tropical Gyros is your flavor-packed escape, a Carib-Greek fusion born right here in Nassau. From juicy grilled salmon, chicken, and pork gyros to loaded bowls, fresh salads, wings, and more. There's something for every craving. Find Tropical Gyros at any of their locations, JFK Plaza, Rosetta Street, Port Lucaya Freeport, or their franchise spots on Prince Charles Drive, Soldier Road West, Delaport, and Carmichael Road. Tropical Gyros, not just good food, it's an experience.
Struggling to find your financial rhythm? Make that move to Fidelity and let us help you orchestrate your financial goals into perfect harmony with free financial coaching sessions. Make that move today. Call 35.
We're good for you.
Refined style with elegant taste, then fine threads is your place. If you want those slacks hemmed or just taking the waist, then fine threads is your place. If you wanna look suave and debonair everywhere you go, like you're supposed to be in a video, wanna step out and look great, then fine threads is your place. Refined style with elegant taste, then fine threads is your place, is your place.
It's the Free National Movement Fire Forward Rally, Nassau Southern Zone. Hear from Dr. Dwayne Sands, Bamboo Town, Darren Hinfield, South Beach, Denari Road, Pinewood, Orinthia Komalafi, Carmichael, Michael Folks, Golden Gates, Rick Fox, Garden Hills, Deputy Leader Shannon Dawn Cartwright, and Party Leader Michael Pentard. This Tuesday, April 14th, at Golden Gates World Outreach Ministries parking lot at 7:30 p.m. That's the Free National Movement Fire Forward Rally, Nassau Southern Zone. See you there.
KFC got that crispy onions crunch. Take a bite, it's a smile. Sweet onion sauce drip, happy running down my side. Pepper jack cheese, bring a little playful wow. Brioche bun soft like a cloud on this ride. KFC, get chicky with it. Hey. Taste the sweet side of things. Every single bite, so lit it. Got my whole crew doing that thing. Crispy onion, sweet onion sauce, pepper jack cheese going on.
Introducing the new Sweet Chicky Chicken Sandwich at KFC.
Let's get chicky with it.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
It's time for The Buzz. What are you buzzing on? Brought to you by John's Shoes.
Kane is in the building.
We're back at you on the Tuesday, April 14th edition of Talking Heads with Naughty and MJ. Our special guest, Dr. Nicholas Fox, the F&M ratified candidate for the Fox Hill constituency. Before we continue the conversation, let's go to the phone lines. Talking Heads.
Hey, what's going on, Naughty? What's going on, MJ?
Hey, what's happening?
Good afternoon.
Right, Naughty, I don't know if Doc will be able to do it because he has to be busy being on the ground and getting to his voters. But there's a situation that I'm observing that's ongoing in the Foxville constituency that I've observed, and it's near and dear to my heart. There's some elderly people that live in the Foxville constituency, Naughty. About 2 years ago, for an international organization, we had done an assessment in the community, in the constituency, just trying to find out from the elderly in particular what were their primary and pressing needs. And one of the things that the elderly had stressed to us was that the Foxhill Clinic was in need of repair and remodeling, and for eons it had never changed or done anything to accommodate the group. They don't even go there, or they opt to go to probably Elizabeth if they could make it there. But Foxhill is a unique community where the people commute by foot and walk wherever they have to go in most cases. Hence, the elderly in Foxhill stated that a clinic was something that's priority. On the side of Dr. Fox's constituency office, it is clear that he attempted to provide such a facility for the community. But today's date, that clinic seemingly has not been able to open. And I'm wondering if he can speak to it or thinking about healthcare, and to see someone that's just in the form of a candidate come and provide healthcare infrastructure for an entire constituency to take care of the elderly and the children, are now seemingly stifled. And we're here in the community trying to figure out when is this clinic going to open so that it could be of benefit to the community. And so if he can, I would love for him to speak that. Or if you or MJ can, Dottie, I'd love for y'all to find out from the powers that be what's holding up the opening of that clinic that can be a major asset to the community of Foxville.
Okay, I'd like to speak to that. After assessing the elderly population, most of them are unable to make it to the clinic. So I've decided to go to them. I do home visits, I check blood sugar, I check blood pressure, check cholesterol. I've been debriding bed sores. I've been, you name it, I've been doing it. I just debrided a huge bed sore the other day that was so bad. So I go to them instead of them coming to me. A lot of them are inflicted and crippled with arthritis. A lot of them don't have the transportation to come. So I go to them. I've had some held up with the licensing. I don't know if that was intentional or political, and so I just left it alone. And so I go to them. You've seen videos of me going from house to house, checking on these people.
That is good.
Yes, checking on these people. And what I also do is I get medication samples. I find out what medications they're on. I ask the drug companies to give me close-dated medication. They have an expiration date 3 months from the day that I get them. And I give them to the people so they don't have to come out their house, inconvenience themselves, or have the possibility of falling and injuring themselves. I go to them, and I love doing it because they have the best conversations. They're historians, and we have the best conversations. And I also bring a smile to their face, and so that gives me more joy because it's a more intimate contact for me. Now, in terms of the Foxville Clinic, that, the current MP came and grossly lied to the public that the clinic is open. There's a doctor. You don't have to worry about getting sick slips from him because you can come there and you can get your sick slip and everything, just being nefarious and nasty. And the clinic has not been open. It doesn't offer any doctor services. It offers immunization services.
Oh, wow.
It was overrun with rodents and vermin. I think a nurse got bitten. I think a nurse got bitten and it was closed and renovated just for photo op. That's all he does. Photo op, photo op, photo op.
So that clinic is not open right now, Doc?
It's not. It's painted nicely, but it doesn't offer any services. They offer immunization services. I think sometimes they offer home visits to change bandages, and that's it. Nothing else. One of my plans for Foxville is to revamp that clinic into a modern day healthcare facility with diagnostics like X-ray and ultrasound, and to have a doctor there every day, 7 days a week, and to have special care visits or specialist visits like a pediatrician on a certain day, an internal medicine doctor on a certain day, a surgeon on a certain day. Because sometimes people have minor surgeries that can be done right there in the clinic and don't have to go to Princess Margaret and wait. And so we can have a surgeon there to do that. And it can be fully staffed and fully operational, and then they don't have to try and find a way to get all the way to Elizabeth Estates where they have to wait hours and be turned away. And so that's one of my plans. Once elected, that will be a fully operational clinic for the community.
Final question on healthcare, Doc.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go. Final question on healthcare, Doc. I know that we've heard a lot in the news recently about doctors that are attached to the NHI program having, difficulty getting their payments on time. Do we understand what's going on? Why aren't these able to get their payments in a reasonable time? I know the Prime Minister said he was frustrated as well, but that still doesn't explain what is happening. Do we know why they can't be paid on time for
There's no funds. It was poorly funded. It was poorly planned, and it was poorly executed. And then you have these doctors there. They're allowed so many patients. The patients with chronic diseases, they have to be seen on a regular, and they're just using up the funds. And it's not a priority for this government to pay the doctors and the nurses. They expect for people to work these ridiculous. People are working and running up bills. You have your light bill, you have your staff to pay, You have all
Right.
these bills to pay, and they're not getting paid, and so now they have to dig into personal funds to pay these things. And some of them, one or two I know, have closed because there's no money, and this government just doesn't care. So it's poorly funded. There's not enough funds to continue the way it should be done. But under an F&M government, we will change that, and we will add things like catastrophic care and cancer care, which is not currently under the NHI Act at this time.
Yeah, no, cancer care would be a really big deal.
Yes.
Doc, I got a question for you. Obviously, if you're successful in the upcoming election, that means you're going to possibly or potentially end up in the House of Assembly.
Yes.
You're going to have to attend. Your opponent, Mr. Mitchell, is the lowest ranked MP as far as attendance to the House of Assembly with 60.8%. My question to you is, the in-home visits that I think obviously those elderly, according to talking with you right now, still may be afflicted enough that they can't make it into the modernized clinic that you envision for Fox Hill. Will you still continue in-home visits or have them coordinated to have in-home visits?
I will have them, I will have somebody doing it. I will do what I can. But also, we can get a bus that, has access or wheelchair access that we can bring these people to the clinic, because sometimes they may need diagnostics. They may need an x-ray or an ultrasound, or they may need lab testing done. And so we will make it easier for them to have access to the clinic. We can bring them there via a special bus, and they can be seen by the doctor. Or we can have a staff just for that. We won't do it every day, maybe twice a week, especially with people with things like bed sores or ulcers,
Right.
because they can get infected, they can get septic, and they can die. So these people need close attention, and that's one of my plans once I am successful, to make sure that clinic is fully operational, to do home visits and to take care of the needs of the community.
All right, let's get to the phone line.
No, go ahead.
Let's get to the phone lines real quick. Talking Heads.
Hey, Naughty. Hey,
Good afternoon.
Good
And good
afternoon.
afternoon to the incoming new minister for Fox Hill.
Thank you.
Naughty asked the question that I wanted to ask, but I wanted to add to it. The idea that you have that you're doing now with the in-house visits, have you recommended something like that to Mr. Pintard for the rest of the constituencies? Because we have all the people in all the constituencies that could probably use something like that. Because on the Family Islands, like for what I've known in Andros, the doctors and nurses there, they have a one-on-one relationship with the person. So they actually do in-house services as it is for the Family Islands. So how about recommending something like that for all of the constituencies in New Providence or Grand Bahama? So I think that would help a lot, because like you said, there's a lot of people who are afraid to move because they feel like they may hurt themselves on the way in or on the way out.
We can suggest that. We can recommend that. That will have to be.
Yeah, because you have Dr. Dwayne Sands and you and whoever else doctors in there. That would be a great portfolio for you guys to take on.
Yes, and thank you for that. And I will make that suggestion in our next meeting.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I want to pivot a little bit, Dr. Fox. One of the things that's getting a lot of attention is your party's proposal of a national lottery. So just help us understand, why a national lottery, why now, and what do you hope to accomplish if you're able to pull one off?
Well, I hope I win the first jackpot.
Yeah, me too.
I think the timing is perfect. If you converse with teachers, I do in my practice, a lot of the times they have to buy supplies. A lot of the times there's not enough funds to provide. I think if there's a constant source of cash, for lack of a better word, these things can be met. The supplies can be met, the repairs for the school can be met, scholarships can be offered. And I just think it's a great idea. They do it in Florida, and they spend billions. They collect billions, and they spend it on education in the school. And I think it's a brilliant idea. And I think the time is perfect, and the money would be put to good use and not just go in somebody's pocket so they can have a lavish lifestyle. I think the time is perfect. Hello?
Yes, Dr. Fox, we're here with you. I think Naughty has some text messages. Go ahead, Naughty. Are you on mute?
Yeah, we're good to go. We're good to go. We're good to go. Naughty and MJ, good afternoon. Tell Dr. Fox he can't say government lies. He has to say they misled or mislead. Good afternoon, Naughty MJ, and to my doctor, Dr. Fox. I'm pulling for you and would love to see leaders in place who are visionary. What is the F&M plan for health insurance and right-sizing the NHI program? I think we talked about that. Dr. Fox, you are right with me. Can the F&M just let the government do what they please with the money and build a hospital? Typed in all capitals. Mitch, is that you? We had the worst minister of health in the history of our country, but I told you that. I told you based on his performance as the minister of Freeport at Grand. Thus, everybody got the shakes when they hear the word PMH because of his horrible management of the situation. But I told you all this was coming. And we got some other texts that we'll get to in the 5 o'clock hour. All right? But they pertain to more national issues when we open up the lines. But Dr. Fox, before we wrap up, do you have anything coming up for your constituency in short order?
Yeah, we have, Thursday is nomination day. So we're going to have a celebration for that at the headquarters in Fox Hill. And on Saturday, we have a big meet and greet and children's fun day in Eastwood, which is also a part of Fox Hill on the Eastwood Park. And we invite everyone to come out and join us and just to celebrate and have fun. And they can meet me and have conversations, ask me questions, and, tell me where I'm falling down and tell me where I need to pick up, because we still have, 28 days? Yeah. So
yeah, short time.
Yeah, I would appreciate.
But a short time or a long time. I don't know. It depends on how you look at it.
Short time. Well, the time went by so rapidly. We've been knocking on doors every day, and the time just flew by.
This has been your first time campaigning. How has this been for you? How has the experience been?
Like I said, I love it. I love meeting people. I love having conversations with people, especially the elderly people. They bring so much insight and history. A lot of them in Fox Hill knew my parents, and they talk about my parents and what they did and how they were, and that brings me joy and happiness. Also, I like talking to the kids and the young people, because the young people, they have different ideas of what should be done in the community. This is 2026. And Fox Hill is being managed by somebody who's stuck in the 80s. And, people see that. People see the regression and not the progress. And they talk about it. And I love it. I get different ideas and inputs from a lot of people. They tell me where I'm falling down, what I should do. And, yeah, I just love it. I love it. I love meeting people. I love talking to people. And I love engaging in a good conversation.
Well, congratulations to you, Doc, because I see that you're working really hard. You're often, I see your Facebook posts a lot of the time, and you're doing a lot, including your visits with the elderly. And I know you're a grandfather as well, so that must take up some time as well.
Yeah,
so you're getting it done.
And I don't get to see my grandson as much. Seeing them on FaceTime or video chat is not the same. I wanna hold him and hug him and walk with him, and this campaign is not allowing me to do that. But it's just 28 days more, and then they'll be here for the election, and we can all celebrate.
Good stuff.
All right, good stuff, Doc. I appreciate you chiming in. I'm sure in the next 28 days we might talk to you again before we go to the polls. But if we do a job so far, and hopefully you're rewarded for the hard effort that you put in. And you'll be doing me a personal favor by retiring the silly septuagenarian himself. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and thank you, Bahamas.
All right, we're going to get to the break. Flip side of the break, the news is coming up. And on the flip side of the news, we'll open the lines. I'll get to your text. And MJ and I will talk about several topics we need to touch on. And then we'll get some sports in there as well. So keep it right where you got it. The Tuesday, April 14th edition of Talking Heads continues right after this.
None for the trying to hold him back. 5 in the air for the teacher not scared to tell those kids that's living in the ghetto that the holding back that the world is theirs. Yeah, the world is yours. I was once that little boy, terrified of the world. Now I'm on a world tour. I will give up everything, even start a world war for these ghetto girls and boys. I'm rapping around the world for Africa to New York, Haiti then I detour, Oakland out to Oakland, Gaza Strip to Detroit. Say hip hop only destroy. KFC got that crispy onions crunch. Take a bite, it's a smile. Sweet onion sauce drip, happy running down my side. Pepper jack cheese, bring a little playful wow. Burrito bun soft like a cloud on this ride. KFC, get chicky with it. Hey, taste the sweet side of things. Every time my whole crew doing that thing. Crispy onion, sweet onion sauce. Pepper jack cheese going on.
Introducing the new Sweet Chicky Chicken Sandwich at KFC.
Let's get chicky with it.
You try to rest, roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and binders, magazines and flyers. For window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it, just give us all. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
New roads and airports are connecting our islands. Energy reform is bringing electricity prices down, while young Bahamians are stepping up, gaining new skills for new opportunities. Respect for workers. Support. We're modernizing energy and infrastructure across our islands and preparing Bahamians to succeed in a new economy. Transformations this big take time. Let's choose progress. Paid for by the PLP.
John Shoes and Accessories is your one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. You will find what you're looking for among the growing collection of classic and trendy styles with new arrivals every week. John's covers the whole family and has great prices, helpful and friendly customer service. Your experience shopping with us will be time well spent. Shop with us online at www.johnshoes.com. John's also now carries small home appliances. So come on into John's, located on Rosetta Street in Palmdale and Carmichael Road West. John's, we put fashion at your feet.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
Kane is in the building.
Alright, the show goes on all night till the morning. We dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they will see the sun up? Just remember when you come up. The show goes on. Alright, the show goes on.
On the Tuesday, April 14th edition of Talking Heads, Naughty and MJ, and you come up until 6 p.m. And we're into the 5 o'clock hour. MJ, we got lots to talk about. And I just want to make a little special announcement before we get into this conversation. May I?
Go ahead.
I know you told me to think about it, but I have thought about it. You know, certain times little video clips pop up from time to time on my timeline, or I get them in WhatsApp, and it's like Rodney is speaking to me from the other side, correct? I told you this before, correct?
Okay. Where are we going with this?
We're going to talk about a lot of things this afternoon. And before we get into it, and probably in the middle of it, and probably at the end of it, I'm going to say this over and repeatedly. I totally get where Rodney was coming from when Rodney made a statement years ago that as a F&M, he was voting PLP. And he was voting PLP as a F&M. Well, as a PLP, long time, I have to say this go around, I might be leaning F&M.
Okay.
As a PLP.
Okay. And
I've heard many others of the same, constitution recently. And I just, just for clarity's sake,
okay,
I get where Rodney was coming from. Not on everything, but at least on this.
Okay. We hear you.
Let me tell you why. Let me give you a good example. The BPL signs. People still, getting on my little nerves now about the signs and the ribbons on the signs. And, you got the PLP criticizing the F&M about it, but they didn't take a trip in Baintown. And how ironic is this? Don't they have signs up on the poles in Elizabeth?
They do have signs up. Yeah, we mentioned this at the top of the show that they do have signs up in Elizabeth. Elizabeth would be where the minister responsible for BPL resides. So
wouldn't she be familiar with the polls in BPL?
Well, and the policy of BPL, because ministers help set policy. Can I just be honest with you? I've never heard BPL take this position before. Now, I'm not saying whether they're right or wrong, because they understand safety. They should better than all of us. But I've never heard this. I don't think most people have heard this, that putting these signs on poles are problematic. Nevertheless, if they are, then I guess everybody has to remove their signs. Everybody has to remove their signs.
I mean, really? That's what we, belly aching about?
It's a few more days. I mean, they must have
removed the beam or the sign from their own pole before they cast aspersions on others,
Yeah, I see what you did
I just
there.
find mighty ironic. Thank you. I think it's, and speaking of Elizabeth, is it me, or does the minister have some childhood fixation with the late DMX and Eve? Because why does every one of her campaign videos look like a bad knockoff version of a Rough Rider video from back in the day?
Oh, I haven't seen it.
What's up with the camouflage? Isn't this supposed to be a peaceful election? I see camouflage, I instantly think military, I instantly think war, I instantly think, and what you hunting?
Oh, it's a play on words for her opponent. I see. Yeah.
But careful of what you go hunting.
A little sensitive there.
It ends up kind of bad,
Everybody's showing us their most...
Ask Bear Gillis about that.
Their most hyperbolic, version of themselves. Everyone wants to be seen, wants to be remembered, because that's how you get the votes,
And last thing, Minister Kobe Davis, if you're going to annoy us being like a little cheerleader or a little parrot, that every time the PM speaks, you got to back up what he says, can you come up with a different word than wow?
Oh boy. Okay.
I think it's played out. I mean, you should expand your vocabulary, like how you would attempt to expand your wardrobe. But then, Fashion Nova ain't real.
Expensive vocabulary, but yeah, everybody's cheerleading the prime minister. I mean, I've seen it before. This is not new. If you think you have someone that is widely appealing, this is the calculation that the Progressive Liberal Party is making, then of course you're going to cheerlead the leader, because they're supposed to be the person to get even some of the lousy ones across the line, right? Like, we know that. We know that a couple of those lousy ones relying on the Safe with Brave kind of campaign slogan to get them across the line. So, yeah, you're going to see that. That's to be expected.
Let's go to the phone lines real quick. Talking Heads.
Hello.
Talking Heads. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, caller.
How you doing?
We're good. Thank you.
That's good, Mary Jane. Naughty, this is my first time calling. But
Thank you for calling.
I would have hoped that I catch the candidate for Fox Hill.
I'm sure he's listening.
To ask him if he's going to be a candidate like the one that's here now, doesn't answer questions, or he is just a member of parliament for Fox Hill proper.
Well, I'm sure it'd be good for him to answer, but I can tell you that aren't the more open and available candidates that I've seen in a while. So answering questions is no problem for Dr. Fox. I could probably vouch for that.
Why I'm saying that is because the candidate now, the member of parliament now for Fox Hill, say they don't have to talk to reporters who represent us.
Yeah, no.
So,
yeah, I mean, if you listen to this show, then you know how we feel about the Freedom of Information Act, and we know about this. You know how we feel about his stance, that flippant stance on saying he doesn't need to answer reporters. Reporters are reporting to the people, and you work for the people, so you should have to answer questions, any type.
Well, I actually caught it in the middle of basically at the end of his contribution. And I have another question. Why is the Prime Minister's faces on every poster? Is because that's saying if you don't trust them, trust me?
Oh, that's one way of looking at it. That's
another interpretation of it.
That's another. I mean, people have many interpretations, but that's another way. They have centered the campaign around the Prime Minister, so they're all betting on him, pulling them across the line.
All right, then.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you so much, caller.
I just had those questions, and hopefully Dr. Fox hear what I have to say, and if he wants to reply, I would like to hear it from him.
Sure, we'll try to get a response from Dr. Fox. Thank you so much, caller.
And don't be a stranger now calling in now that you made your first time appearance. All right, you part of the Talking Heads Network now as well too. What's the next topic?
Another interesting thing happened. Another interesting thing happened yesterday, right? So we were getting, and this wasn't just yesterday, but for days we've been getting some reporting that some insurance that involved a fraudulent voters card, a person attempting to get a legitimate, though fraudulently obtained, national insurance card using a fraudulent voters card. So that kind of exploded into the news yesterday when it was confirmed that, in fact, police did arrest a young woman, early 30s, and then that arrest and perhaps their investigations led them to kind of detain another person that works for the Parliamentary Registration Department. And I'm sure that a lot of people who have been, saying we have some serious systemic issues that we need, we're like, okay, here we go again. Here's another situation, another instance.
And here's something that's come, across my radar several times, MJ, and allegations are swirling, and people want to know, this individual involved that they've taken into custody from the Parliamentary Registrar's Department. The questions are arising now. Was this the same individual that served as the officer for the Golden House?
Well, we don't know, right? So that part of it is
those kind of questions will come up out of this kind of scenario.
And a lot of speculation will happen that we're not certain of. So I'm just trying to go on the facts that we have before us right now. I know that the Parliamentary Registration Department and the commissioner, Mr. Harrison Thompson, he did release a statement yesterday. And I got to tell you, I didn't feel better after reading that statement, I honestly didn't feel better. He talked about just the approach to identify and prevent fraud. But here it is, a card, right, that we are going to assume came out of the Parliamentary Registrations Department, the purple card. Now, it was not someone who was legitimately registered. Yes, there was no stamp on it, so it was not a legitimate card. But the card itself, those cards are numbered. They should be a part of stacks. And how does it go out and that not be recognized, or your department doesn't realize it? Like we're waiting on national insurance.
How does the driver allegedly of an MP for Baintown?
Well, we're not certain. We're not certain about any of that, right? We're not certain about any of that. I'm hearing a lot of stuff, but we don't know who is who and what is what. All we know so far is that this person did, in fact, that the police are questioning, the young man, did in fact work for the Parliamentary Registration Department. And Mr. Thompson described this person as a casual worker. And I'm trying to figure out, how does a casual worker, because it seems like some distance in there, like this isn't a permanent worker, how does a casual worker get their hands on those cards and it not be accounted for? Like, how does that, to me, saying that it's a casual worker doesn't make the situation better. It actually makes the situation
maybe that was
worse.
His job ahead of time. Maybe that was the job he was put there to do casually.
It makes the situation worse. And yes, I'm glad that NIB has sharpened their focus now, because a lot of these things seem to be running through NIB. Of course, we have had many issues with the passport office as well. But are there? And the thing about it with this particular story is that there are indicators that this may not have been the first time, perhaps, that this incident happened, where they've had cards go missing. There may be other cards missing. What are they doing about that? And it's not enough to say that, oh, I'm satisfied that they did not intend to vote in this election with that card. Okay, no, they may not have intended to vote in this election with that card. But let's think about it. They take that card, they get a national insurance card. That has happened. Some have slipped through the cracks. And then we had the case with the two young women that used the national insurance card to go get the passport. If there's a breakdown at any stage of this, right, then you end up with persons who start off with a fraudulent voter's card, and that seems to be the easiest entry point into this whole scheme. Get a national insurance card, then passport, then they come right back to you and get a legitimate voter's card. So I don't think you could be myopic and say, oh, they didn't intend to vote, maybe not this time. But if at any point the system breaks down and they're allowed to move further along the line, then yes, now you are looking at a person that enters our voters' rolls potentially that should never have been there in the first place. So I don't know. I need the parliamentary registration department to like tighten things up a little bit. I know this has been a stressful time for them, but they need to get it together. Perhaps an audit is needed. How does a card go missing and you're not aware of that? Like, how wasn't it found? How didn't you pinpoint it to the person that the police had to end up picking up because National Insurance tipped them off? Like, why weren't there more safeguards to prevent cards, even if they're not signed and not stamped, but the card itself that's numbered went missing? And we're not hearing a lot about, anything of that nature that may be happening that other agencies need to be on the lookout for. I don't know. I just feel like there is still, to an extent, a kind of laissez-faire attitude towards this major problem we're experiencing in the country at the moment, which is, document fraud. And I just need our people to be a little bit sharper and a little bit more aggressive,
Let's go to the phone lines. Talking heads. Talking heads. All right, caller, hit us back.
Hello.
Oh, there you go. What's happening?
Right here, buddy. I called, right? Remember when they had the referendum? And they had gaming on it and they had lottery. Hello?
Yes, we remember.
Yeah, and most gaming people vote for the lottery than will vote for gaming. So why are they making it sound like this lottery is a new thing?
I know, right? We've been in the lottery business. We've been in it for a while.
Like I repeat myself, and I can't hear you too good, but most people vote for the lottery than the gaming. But they're just trying to cater these fellas. Now, I can say one more thing. Dr. Dwayne Sand, I think you need to revisit what he said about the PMH adding on. I think that PMH can have the time. Now, where they put it, that's another question. But it's like you have you have 3 children now, you got 8 children, so you got to do something. Then also have the better parking and thing around if you build a brand new house. But that's also over 70 years old, man.
Yeah, parking is certainly going to be an issue for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, caller.
Good points.
I guess we could talk a little bit about the lottery, right? Because yesterday, I was like you, like, are we in La La Land when it's coming to this whole discussion around the lottery? So let's have a listen. Yesterday, the Prime Minister kind of lamented. He called the idea that the Free National Movement has put forward to introduce a national lottery as a gimmick. I'm wondering if he called it a gimmick because back in the day when the Christie administration added that question to the referendum, you guys remember it wasn't originally about a national lottery. Then when they switched the time, they added the question of the national lottery. It may have been a gimmick then. It may have been a gimmick because they know how popular a national actually is with Bahamians. Right? Bahamians go to Miami, go to Florida, play the lottery all the time. Don't think of it as a big deal. You don't look at it. You're casually playing. You don't look at it as such a big deal. And the lottery was popular. If you would have asked me if the national lottery part of it would have passed, I would have probably bet, no pun intended, that that part of it would pass. Not sure about the numbers part of it. But then perhaps it was a gimmick then. A gimmick introduced to get the other part of that question that we were asked to pass. When both of them failed, then, fast forward, we get the numbers part of it being regularized. And then the lottery is now all of a sudden in 2026. So a terrible idea, which is ironic to me. But here's the Prime Minister. Let's listen to what he has to say, because he talked a lot about what he thought this was. And he made the whole thing sound very seedy and scandalous. So here he is talking about the national lottery as a gimmick.
To talk about a national lottery seems to be a gimmick. Trying to grab headlines. One has to question, why is he wanting to have a national lottery? Is it for the purpose of a slush fund for corruptors and fraudsters? It seems to be just a gimmickry, not thought out. The amount of Bahamians that is now in the gaming industry, how their lives will be impacted.
I mean, he talks about it like it is the seediest kind of business in the world. He talks about, He didn't say corruption. He said corruptors and fraudsters when he was talking about a lottery. And I'm like, what? Is this the same party that, has several candidates with direct ties and directly benefit from the gaming industry? I mean, does the prime minister not realize that small balls are lotteries as well? They're just small ball lotteries. I mean, we call them numbers, but that's little lotteries. I understand. Because, I mean, he's been one of the persons that seems to be very concerned about making sure the numbers boys are well taken care of and that they, get their taxes in and all that kind of stuff. And just to have this particular position when we've been in the numbers and lottery business for forever is just amazing to me, to now look down his nose at it, at the lottery part of it, but have absolutely zero problem with the small ball numbers lotteries. Amazing to me that he could hold those two positions at the same time. I think psychologists call it cognitive dissonance, to try to hold those two opinions. He went a little bit further on the stage in West End last night when he actually accused the leader of the Free National Movement of trying to turn the government into a numbers house. Imagine that. Let's listen to the Prime Minister. Do we have that one ready, Mr. Producer? I think he's shaking his head. Anyway, on the stage in West End last night, the Prime Minister said that, he accused the leader of the opposition of trying to turn the government into a numbers house.
You know what I find ironic about that, though?
And then he said, my word. Okay, well, let's listen to the Prime Minister.
Wasn't he part of it?
It's better to hear it from him, the way he has such disdain, like, oh, my God, to the Prime Minister last night from West End.
Michael Pinta's big idea is to turn the government into a numbers house.
Wow.
My Lord.
There's your wow.
I told you it's coming.
It is my Lord. Like, no, I can't believe it. My Lord.
But MJ, let me ask you a question. Wasn't Mr. Davis part of an administration to turn the whole nation into a number house?
And he has no problems having the numbers people in his administration. This is quite something. It's a terrible position I think he's in, to be outmaneuvered in this way. And he's trying his best to make it make sense, but it's not making sense.
He got outflanked by a comedian / poet / creative. I just want everybody to know that. Let's go to the phone lines. They're full. Talking Heads.
Hey, how y'all doing, man?
Good afternoon.
Good. Yeah, I think the PM was...
But it's Johnny two times. What's going on 2 times?
Huh?
Yeah, he's
off.
It's
Johnny 2 times.
Yeah, he's a bit off on that one. But I mean, that's not really why I called. I got some good news today, man, from a relative of mine in Freeport that is started work on the hotel project today, and apparently they're going to be doing some fun to that are interested in working on the site and whatnot. So it looks like something's happening, and just thank God for that.
If it is happening, we're happy. But I got to tell you, I got to be honest with you, caller. Just looking at the timing of all of this and the way it's played out, you got to do more than a fence around the property for me to believe.
We call it now. Stevie Wonder could see the backdrop behind it. I mean, I have
we could see it.
Honestly, we know that it was timed specifically for specific things. So I mean, I ain't even questioning that, but I'm just happy for my people in Grand Bahama, and I'm happy to know that at least something is starting to happen, and some jobs will be over the next couple of days will be offered to them.
I was listening for the Deputy Prime Minister to say on the stage last night that the money was in the bank. Have you heard if the money's in the bank yet?
Well, I assume that it has to be in the bank because
we don't know.
MSC with the legendary MSC and the fact that work is already started.
Very reputable company, but again,
fenced off the section that MSC is going to be doing that, and they're getting ready to hire some people. I mean, I don't know more. I don't know. I mean, I ain't too worried about where the money in the bank. I just want my people to start working. That's the main idea.
You got to be worried. You got to be worried because we picked up the tab on the severance payments. We picked up the tab on the electricity. We picked up the tab on the water. We picked up many tabs that we shouldn't have had to pick up, and when they said it was sold. So I need some to know if the money's in the bank.
Saying, the money has to be in the bank because, like I said, MSC don't mess their name up in anything that ain't legit.
We're gonna ask them, right? We're gonna ask
them. And I'm just saying, they don't get mixed up in things. All right.
But we would hope. But we'll have to ask them: is the money in the bank? What did you do with our property? But where's the money? Yeah, we'll have to
get to the other calls. Talking Heads.
Hey, yeah, bless. Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, somebody say trust, but
verify. Yes.
The money in the bank. Just show us the money, man.
Just
show us the money. But listen, in regards to this lottery business that the FNM is, Mr. Pintard is proposing, I don't gamble. But, in 2012, when the Christie government when the Christie administration came to power, and they said that they would take the 2% which they got from BTC, that 2% dividend was supposed to be used for sporting activities and other things.
Charitable, right. Mm-hmm.
It's been 14 years. How much dividend have we gotten from BTC? Where has the money gone? Mr. Pintard is proposing that there be a separate fund, not that the money will not go into that black hole called the consolidated fund. That it will go directly into a special fund to be used for special purposes. Because we all know what happens when money goes into the consolidated fund. It goes in, and you never really see it, and it's never really applied to the places that it's supposed to go. So
something like VAT, right? VAT.
Yeah, there's a tax on gas, and that tax is supposed to be for the roads, right? To fix the roads. And so the government shouldn't be looking for money to fix the road when you have already collected taxes from the gas to fix the road. But everything just goes into that, I call it a black hole, consolidated fund. And during the budget time, okay, you get a little bit of this, you get a little bit of that, and they take the money and do whatsoever they want to do it, and the money don't get to go where it's supposed to go. So with the lottery, that will help these athletes who've been crying and all these other things that we need to do in order to fund that and so on and so forth. So you know what? If they win the government, I hope that they move forward with it. Right?
Yeah. No, thank you so much, caller. And
Let's get to the other call.
I agree.
Let's get to the other calls. Talking Heads.
Yes, good afternoon. How you doing? I'm a first-time caller.
Good afternoon.
I'm calling about some voters that were found on Harbor Island register. They 8 of them was on the fraudulent. Well, the passports were being investigated for fraud. 8 of them were registered in Harbor Island. Fraudulent passports and people registered in Harbor Island. 8 Haitians.
That's a problem. That is a big problem.
Yep. You got to check that.
Thank you so much, caller.
We'll follow up on that. Talking Heads.
Yes, how you doing? C. Allen Johnson.
Hey, C. Allen.
Yeah, I'm trying to give me a minute. I'm trying to mount my unicorn.
You don't fall off your unicorn twice already for the day, so don't try it again.
Yeah, I'm about to ride up. I'm about to ride up
horn.
at a hotel to see what's going on. But I got to pass. But I first have to pass Garden Village. That used to be the Garden Village ghetto.
I heard about that last night. How is Garden Village looking, C. Allen? Because I was a little bit surprised by what the deputy said, but I haven't seen it for a minute. So, tell me, is he making sense or no?
No, it's okay. The proper thing to do would have been for Ginger to walk up there, right there on top, just walk up to the stage, grab the mic and says, I ain't got nothing to do with that. He's a liar.
Well, that wasn't going to happen. Just tap him on the shoulder, wink or something and say, no, don't go there, don't go there.
Right.
Oh, boy.
What happens is that I can send you a video right now, right? But this is Garden Villas, and I'm going to send you something and you're going to be hurt, right? Because essentially what you will see that Garden Villas is an abandoned 14-plex or something of that sort, right? Each one has about 4 to 6 units. and about a dozen families were staying there. Now, the picture I'm going to send you is going to be with this abandoned village with tarps on the roof and holes in the roof.
Oh, boy.
And now nobody is staying there. Practically no one is staying there now.
Right.
But he said they've turned it from garden villas to garden village. Right?
Where did the
a
deputy
place of
prime minister
prosperity.
get that information from? I'm trying to remember, like, who told him to say that? Because it was patently untrue.
But it's a couple. No, it's a couple of things that he said that is totally untrue. Because what happened? This is why they went down to West Grand Bahama, because then you have the sickle files in that particular area they have. But clearly they were not speaking to anyone on Grand Bahama. This was clearly a message for anyone off Grand Bahama. So for me, Grand Bahama last night says that the Progressive Liberal Party has written Grand Bahama off, because you cannot come and go to such blatant lies. First of all, show up into an area for which you promised $700 million out of repairs. And no, it started with $200 million, because the $200 million estimate for those 3.5 miles of seawall was done when the current Prime Minister was Minister of Works. But for the hotel, right? Now, I want you to understand this. We had a head of agreement. We had a party. We had a multi-million-dollar party for groundbreaking and all sort of window. And now I want you to pause. Remember, we were talking about a hotel. We were talking about condos. We were talking about the units on the golf course. We were talking about the marina. We were talking about the Port Lucaya marketplace and a couple other places. All
now you're talking about beach club.
Well, now we have a new heads of agreement, a totally new done, because we're only talking now about two beachfront beach party locations, and with one of them having a casino. That means the total plan has been changed from almost $1 billion to probably $100 million, because the place they're talking about is about the same size as the Paradise Island deal, right?
Yeah,
so,
no, I know.
So we have to ask ourselves, when did this new heads of agreement, when did all of this happen? And the fact that you have began to put up fence does not denote that anything, because we don't know who sent the people to put up the fence. It could be government, could it be whatever, whatever it is. Now,
I remember when they said there was some work starting on the airport, and then what?
It did. They pulled the truck. They pulled the tractor in the day that Mr. Davis was here, and I don't know how much we paid to have the tractor drive to the back of the airport building, take off, and then when he left on the flight, the tractor's put back on the lowboy and taken away. So we don't know, but I can tell you unequivocally that see, this is easy to do when you're playing with the public treasury's money. For you to agree that if you go, guys, and start these things, I will cover the bill, because you remember, if you go and put fence on that property with the government consent, who's responsible? Government is. If you begin even demoing work out there without the government is. So the only way we seem to maybe we can get the truth about this hotel, this airport, and Grand Bahama, have to be to make sure that and these with the so-called things that happen where people are showing up inside of these voters' roll and these things, the best way for Bahamians to preserve its sovereignty is to show up in so much that there will be no room for error. That's the only
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Good stuff,
thanks.
Appreciate it.
As far as West End goes in the rally last night, I was wondering how Mr.
Angela, you got to get to the break. Mr. Producer,
Okay.
you got to get to the break. Let's get to the break, and we'll jump into that West End right out of the break, because, we got to talk about that for sure.
Yeah, West End.
Oh, Mr. Smith. I know you're looking for a new island to run to right now, because after that speech last night, my God. Anyway, that and more coming up as the Tuesday, April 14th edition of Talking Heads with Naughty and MJ continues right after this.
Yeah, the world is yours. I was once that little boy, terrified of the world. Now I'm on a world tour. I will give up everything, even start a world war. For these ghetto girls and boys, I'm rapping around the world for Africa to New York, Haiti then I detour, Oakland out to Oakland, Gaza Strip to Detroit. Say hip hop only destroy. Tell them look at me.
It's the Free National Movement Fire Forward Rally, Nassau Southern Zone. Hear from Dr. Dwayne Sands, Bamboo Town, Darren Hinfield, South Beach, Denari Road, Pinewood, Orinthia Komalafi, Carmichael, Michael Folks, Golden Gates, Rick Fox, Garden Hill, Deputy Leader Shannon Dawn Cartwright, and Party Leader Michael Pentar. This Tuesday, April 14th, at Golden Gates Rural Outreach Ministries parking lot at 7:30 p.m. That's the the Free National Movement Fire Forward Rally, Nassau Southern Zone. See you there.
KFC got that crispy onions crunch. Take a bite, it's a smile. Sweet onion sauce drip, happy running down my side. Pepper jack cheese, bring a little playful wow. Burrito bun soft like a cloud on this ride. KFC, get chicky with it. Hey. Taste the sweet side of things. Every single bite, so lit it. Got my whole crew doing that thing. Crispy onions, sweet onions.
Introducing the new Sweet Chicky Chicken Sandwich at KFC.
Let's get chicky with it.
John Shoes and Accessories is your one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. You will find what you're looking for among the growing collection of classic and trendy styles with new arrivals every week. John's covers the whole family and has great prices, helpful and friendly customer service. Your experience shopping with us will be time well spent. Shop with us online at www.johnshoes.com. John's also now carries small home appliances. So come on into John's, located on Rosetta Street and Carmichael Road West. John's, we put fashion at your feet.
It's the Free National Movement Fire Forward Rally, Nassau Southern Zone. Hear from Dr. Dwayne Sands, Bamboo Town, Darren Hinfield, South Beach, Denari Road, Pinewood, Orinthia Komalafi, Carmichael, Michael Folks, Golden Gates, me leader, Shannon Dawn Cartwright, and party leader, Michael Pentard. This Tuesday, April 14th, at Golden Gates Rural Outreach Ministries parking lot at 7:30 p.m. That's the Free National Movement Fire Forward Rally, Nassau Southern Zone. See you there.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
Kane is in the building.
Alright, the show goes on all night till the morning. We dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they will see the sun up? Just remember when you come up. The show goes on. Alright, the show goes on all night till the morning. We dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they will see the sun up? Just remember when you come up. The show goes on.
Have you ever had the feeling that you was being had? Don't that shit that make you mad? They treat you like a slave, put chains all on your soul.
We're back at you on the Tuesday, April 14th edition of Talking Heads, Naughty and MJ and Company, right up until 6 p.m. Let me double check with Mr. Producer. We have any other callers, Mr. Producer? All right, let's go right to the phone lines. We got 3 calls, MJ, then we'll get to West End. Talking Heads.
Hey, Naughty.
Good afternoon.
Naughty.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you and MJ. How y'all doing?
Hey. All good, man. What's happening?
Everything cool, Poppy. Listen, yesterday you to say something with condolence to LH. I want to say condolence to his family also. I consider him one of those PLPs. I don't know if to say a Perry Christie PLP, but I like how he used to deal with this present PLP, this new kind of PLP where we have in power. And I always say, if he maybe he's blind, able to deal with it, thank God he could have seen. And every time you see poor people or disabled people, he like to push his hand in his pocket and put something in our pocket. Even if I get the same amount he have or half of what he have in his pocket, he still is to give. And I appreciate him for that. I know him from back in the days with him. And you talk about gold and the next one in the truck. Remember?
And in the 5.0 in the car, the GT.
You ain't know them, and they had that. What that truck is? What you call it? Pathfinder.
Don't forget Crucial too.
Huh?
Don't forget Crucial. It always used to be LH Gold and Crucial.
Yes, you remember the truck what they used to be in a?
Yeah, they had the truck, they had the GT, they had all of that.
Like a Pathfinder or something. They used to come in the parks there where I used to be with Ty, I don't know if you know of Ty and Sean Isaacs and stuff.
What you
mean? Then he passed through, LH. He had a screw rate up. What's the ever LH come for? We must make sure LH straight. Because I sure when Ty and others pass in the bottoms area and stuff, they used to get the most respect, salutes and everything. So LA's a real original OG. And I can miss him. I can miss him. Listen, I think my prime minister politically shoot himself in his foot. I don't know if he has any handlers as be around him. If I was him, I wouldn't have said nothing but that national lottery. That sounds so dumb. The Bahamian people, the majority of Bahamian people right now, they know a national lottery could help more than this thing with 5 set of web shop owners just hogging up all the money, but they giving back and they ain't giving enough. All my prime minister was saying is that if you won the national lottery, if you was a PLP and won national, you better go vote for the F&M. But then, if the PLP ain't pushing no national lottery. You know, you talk about Rodney Monka too. And we have the same sign. We Sagittarius born in November. You on the 30th and I on the 29th. And I always say the difference between, he might be dead and I alive, but we were similar in many different ways. Like, for instance, he say he's a F&M, and he was voting PLP. I's a PLP. This is the difference between him and Pop-Up. I's a PLP. I prepare to vote PLP, right? But if they need some criticism or they doing foolishness or their interest is not our interest and they all about empowering, enriching themselves, their friends, their families and lovers, I can speak out against that. Even if I vote PLP, I can speak out against that. And if the Bahamian people send them home, I ain't no nothing to worry about. I on the side of the Bahamian people. I don't worry about them talking about you're not a good PLP and all that. I do say you all go there question me, but he ain't no real PLP. God, no. I help these Negroes to get in there now. I help them to get in there. This is a new kind of PLP.
You put in your work now, Papa.
Like these people that move inside there now. So when they
been on this talk show circuit for a long time, Papa.
Hello?
Yeah, I say, Papa, you've been on this talk show circuit a long time. Yes, you have put in work.
Huh? Yeah, man, I put in the work. God see and know. And I don't worry about no one who talk about if it's a PLP or what. If the PLP wrong, they wrong. I love my children. When my children get on the hand, they deserve a damn time out. And that ain't mean I don't love them.
Oh, boy.
When they understand and catch themselves, they can come back.
There you go. Okay.
Y'all keep up the good work.
I can be honest with you, Papa. Rodney's talking to me from the other side. I got to roll with Rodney, but as a PLP, I got to vote F&M this lap, I believe. And as a, vote F&M as a PLP.
Let's go to the phone lines. Talking Head. Hi, caller.
Talking Heads.
Go ahead, caller.
Hi.
Hi, go ahead, caller.
Hi, Naughty and MJ. How y'all?
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good. I'm puzzled though. I have a question. Didn't the demolition of the airport wasn't that started in 2023?
I mean, off and on works have been done. I know recently there was something happening out there, and then nothing was happening.
No, you remember they announced that the demolition, as a matter of fact, the Deputy Prime Minister announced that in March of 2023.
Okay.
And then that fast forward to today, or last night, or whenever they made the announcement about the Lucayan, the same company who said that the airport has to be done, it's the same company which started work on Grand Lucayan. I confused.
That's interesting.
Wow. I'm very confused.
That is the case. That's interesting. Wow.
Y'all have a good day. They're playing with Grand Bahamians' emotions.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much, caller. Thanks so much.
Let's get to the other calls. Talking Heads.
Hi, good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. How y'all doing?
Good afternoon.
Good, man. What's happening?
Y'all ever listen to the lyrics of your theme song? Have you ever had a feeling that you've been had?
Oh.
Yeah. You know, politicians always, they always, playing a game, a trick on us. So when the Prime Minister say, if you turn the government into a web shop and a gambling house, and the United States, they have the Florida lottery, they have the Kansas lottery, they have every state have a lottery. They ain't a number house. They're not considered as that.
No.
You got a place a place like Barbados that have half the population that we have, or maybe just over half. They have a national lottery. But Perry Christie tell us that the consultants say a lottery would never make it in the Bahamas because we don't have sufficient people. So we always getting hard. Every election cycle.
We could market our national lottery globally and be right up there with Florida, Vegas, New York.
Even local. Even locally, you just adjust the numbers. It can work. I mean, if you look at the numbers, it can definitely work.
Well, if it could work in Barbados and they have the size and population with us, it definitely could work here. But I mean, that's just a simple example of how we are always manipulated by politicians every time. They dangle a carrot and say, hey, we can give you freedom of information. We can give you this. We can give you that. we can give you campaign finance reform. It don't never happen. Why? Because it's not in their best interest. So the National Lottery
strange.
is not in their best interest right now, the PLP that is, and they're not interested. But they want to convince us that it's not the best thing for the country when everything else tells us otherwise.
Yeah, no, you make a good point. He called it the FNM wants to turn it into a numbers house, but then he has numbers people getting ready to take prominent positions in his administration. I mean, this is strict. I noticed he wasn't standing behind him last night, though. Not when he turned up his nose at numbers house. He wasn't. His candidate wasn't standing behind him.
And the big problem with that is we know that their moratorium is coming to an end shortly. And so now this conversation is a real conversation.
It truly is. No, I agree.
Okay, y'all have a nice day.
Thank you so much, Carl.
One more call, MJ, then we got to get some text, and then we can wrap it up. Talking Heads.
Good day, MJ and Naughty.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
I'm a real number person. I was a real number boss. I love to buy numbers. But I saying this to say, and I'm a real PLP, but this one I can't give the Prime Minister no kudos on that. You can't tell me I can't buy no number, and you have these fellas them just raping the country, ain't giving nobody nothing, they ain't paying for no school luncheon, they ain't paying for no hospital with the money. All they doing is getting richer and building all kind of big condos and apartments and things, and you seeing what they doing their money. The country need a national lottery and get rid of these number boys, and because all they doing is raping the country and they ain't pushing nothing back to the community. What you think about that, MJ?
Now that you mention it, those condos and stuff, there's a lot of them going up. Let's be honest. They could have been schools. They could have been rec centers. They could have been so many. Yeah.
Like they must think we stupid. Eh? Like and the government is this government is so. I don't understand them. They just buy the whole. I don't know if they either buy it or they leasing the new place where they have the court system on Burnett Road. Like they think people stupid. Eh?
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand how the Prime Minister.
What these number boys them getting? They have all the cars, rental places. Like what's happening? Why
his position.
Backward?
He can't hold that position. It just really doesn't make sense, and you can't convince Bahamians that your position on this makes sense. It doesn't.
Mr. MJ, Mr. MJ, I really feel like if though the number boys them have something on Brave or the Perry Christie.
Okay, so we're not, okay.
All right.
We can't speculate on that, but it just is an untenable position to hold. You know, I don't get it.
You want to get into West End now? You want to get into West End?
I just wanted to say, just quickly on West End, because it's amazing. I watched it last night. This one was one to pay attention to because we all recall that the current member of Parliament, Kingsley Smith, made a lot of promises going into that by-election. He promised them a government complex. He promised them 60 miles of roadworks. Abraham Muhammad needs 2 airports because he promised them one in West End as well. He promised them a new school. He promised them a West End clinic. He promised them a fishing village. He promised them a new defense force base. He promised them new docks in West End. He promised them a new resort in Boodle Bay. He promised them a new police station. He promised them an affordable housing program. He promised them free Wi-Fi in the parks, and he promised them small home repairs. On the stage last night, when he was making his appeal, all that Mr. Smith was able to say was they got delivered the Obadiah Wilchcombe complex, and we talked about that yesterday. That complex is in default for some $34 million that we as taxpayers have to pick up. He said that they opened the Holmes Rock School. They, in fact, repaired it, and I hear that there's some issues with the repairs, but that's a different story. He said he completed a park, repaired 100 roofs, donated computers, and held John Canoe. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But even the thing, when you consider the vast amount of promises made, I wondered how he could get up on that stage and fix his mouth to say anything because the biggest ticket item on that whole list of the very tiny list compared to the promises that he was able to say is a big ticket item is the Obadiah Wilchcombe complex. And as we all know, that is now in default. So I just, you talk about cojones. My gosh, he had some to get up on that stage and promise those people anything else because there's no way I'm even listening once you promise me all that stuff and can't deliver.
All right, let me hit up some of these texts before we get out of here. I'm going to rapid fire, MJ, because it's a ton. Good afternoon, Naughty MJ. I have a question. Do you think our local businesses that produce signs are making any money from the political signs and billboards that are being displayed on this island? Some are, but I'm hearing a lot of that paraphernalia was printed up abroad. MJ and Naughty, have they not been opposed for years?
Yeah.
Hey, Naughty and MJ, why the government renew managerial contracts of retired civil servants in these government corporations? There are many individuals ready and capable of promotions for these opportunities.
Yeah, that's true.
But brave is the PM and still acts like a novice leader. Good afternoon, Mr. Naughty and MJ. These politicians, we Bahamians already know them and their ways. Billboards and place cards won't help them. They can't vote. The billboards can't vote. We the people can vote. And another thing, Naughty, the PRP administration believes they own the public parks in the Bahamas. They restrict the other parties from having their functions on them. Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. Tell Dr. Fox he can't say lies. He's misled. Good afternoon, Naughty. I worked with Dr. Fox many years ago, and trust me, he remains the same humble, compassionate, and empathetic person he ever was. It's not about money for him. He would make an excellent MP. Brother Naughty and Sister MJ, I heard JJ call the talk shows in a while, but every time he calls, he was pushing the national lottery. You think Pintard heard him?
Yeah.
Let's talk about these new vans that each candidate that the PLP have. Where all this money coming from? Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. Why is the government so desperate to make Grand Bahama look like Nassau? Good day, Naughty and MJ. PM Pintard is unimpressed by the PLP gang auditions of wild behavior and wild motions. Worst of all, the exploitation of the elderly with the younger man about the hinged hand robot Minister Mitch. They represented slackness and vulgarity to the ground, and now they want to cry. Fraudulent voters card to get fraudulent NIB card, next step fraudulent passport. Naughty and MJ, good afternoon. I'm willing to leave my job in the private institution for over 28 years to go work for slack government. Who is the hookup for the job to clean up the nonsense going on? Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. The legal mind PLP is so confused on what to say. Pintard pulled the trump card on the PMP and the PM and his lousy men.
Yeah, I mean, I think they got outmaneuvered on that lottery issue. I mean, that's plain.
The lottery will happen. No one can stop the lottery. The Bahamians are waiting for this for many years. This will help our healthcare, education, roads, governments, and buildings, etc. Bahamians will not stand down on this lottery. Naughty Johnny 2 times has to be the new Anton to the power of 10. His relatives get hired 2 weeks before the election for another demolition? Question mark.
You guys are so suspicious.
I feel like they think Bahamians are stupid, and the person with the wow can't make up for how foolish she really sounds. No transparency with these clowns. At least Minister Pintard and acceptability. Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. That speaker who sounded drunk to West End rally last night, was that Paco Deal? The PLP candidate for Central Grand Bahama? Question mark, question mark, question mark.
I missed his part. I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
Couldn't tell you. Yeah. When you benefit from a thing, you will support that thing. Are you surprised? Naughty and MJ, I'm looking forward to a national lottery because it will help to reduce the amount of power and influence that the number houses have on the government. And those are all the textures.
This is the last thing I want to say because, I was thinking about something that someone said yesterday about us keeping them informed. There's a great article in the Nassau Guardian. It's by Chester Robards. It's concerning the pre-election economic and fiscal update. So the government is saying that there's a contingent liability of $140 million tied to 2 PPPs. They had some PPPs with Bahama Striping, as well as a company called Cat Island Infrastructure Company. Bahama Striping was $100 million that they borrowed from the Africa Import-Export Bank. For the Cat Island Infrastructure Company, $40 million that they borrowed from the same Africa Export-Import Bank. The deal was that the government paid them the invoices. They would do the work, the road works. The government would pay the invoices, but if the government is delinquent, of course, that would cause them a problem with their loan with the Africa Import-Export Bank. The government said today that that is a contingent liability. And if we're reading between the lines and how they've been handling these PPPs, it looks like we're likely or possibly, great possibility of us being on the hook for $140 million for another set of failed PPPs kind of like the Obadiah Wilscombe complex. So let's keep our eyes on that. You guys can check out that article in the Nassau Guardian.
Well, we got to get to the break. For MJ, this is your boy Naughty. Everybody who chimed in, called in, texted in, good stuff. Thanks to our special guest, the F&M ratified candidate for the Fox Hill constituency, Dr. Nicholas Fox. Glad everybody chimed in. We'll be back at Talking Heads. For MJ, this is Naughty. We'll see you tomorrow.
One in the air for the people ain't here. Two in the air for the father that's there. Three in the air for the kids in the ghetto. Four for the kids.
The Whopper with cheese at Burger King Nassau has never tasted so good. It's made with 100% flame grilled beef that's juicier, topped with fresh ingredients as usual, and even fluffier buns. Get a regular Whopper with cheese combo for only $9, including that, and enjoy what's bigger, better, and tastier. The only place to get your Whopper with cheese combo is at Burger King Nassau, where it's grill time anytime.
This is definitely the time for BAMSI to continue to build on the progress that we've made. There's now drone technology. There's